Tushar, welcome to the Raj and Pablo show. It's just me, I'm afraid. But I did call Raj very early this morning to wake him up. And at that time, he sounded fresh and bright. But then, Raj has a habit of losing his way. Give him another couple of years, he'll turn up. But listen, firstly, congratulations with your book and congratulations on your son, because we haven't met since.
I know we haven't met since. No, I think spoke for Golmaal, the last one.
Yes, that was the last time, but that still seems like it's been so much has happened in the world, right? Since then.
Yes. And whoever you meet, you're meeting after a long time.
Exactly.
It's like
so
there's no link.
Is your family healthy? Everybody fine?
Yes, we're as good as it can be. I mean, couldn't complain, but yeah, I wish I was feeling less exhausted. Though we are in lockdown, not lockdown, but we are restricted. But it's still exhausting for some reason.
It's great. Well, it's great that the books happened because I kind of read, people have been saying, put this down on paper, your experience. But did you know you were going to write a book? Is this something that was always in you?
No. I never thought that. I always had experience with writing because I was in university in the US and I've been trained to write essays and that's something that it's very important if you go to study abroad. But writing a book is an entirely new ball game, and I didn't know I'd be able to write one, or I never thought about it. And like most things in our lives, it just so happened that people used to tell me that why don't you write a book about your unconventional journey as a father? And my friends would tell me, and then one fine day I made up my mind, and then suddenly then the opportunity comes by from Penguin Publishing Company, and I was like, no, this is a great way to share your experiences with the world, and why not write a book on your own? If you can write, why not write the entire book on your own? Because no one can do justice to your personal life better than you yourself.
So, and like Bachelor Dad, which is what the book's called. It's probably because we haven't had a chance to read it here yet. We've heard so much about it. And so for those people who don't know, this is your journey of you and your son, right?
Yes, it's my journey into becoming a single parent and the years following that as a single parent right up until now in the lockdown and dealing with all the ups and downs in the lockdown. So the book isn't released yet. It's releasing on the 7th of Feb. So maybe that's why
Yeah.
We've just release the pre-order link on Amazon. So you can order your copy if you would like. And 7th of Feb, it's going to be available in all the stores.
Well, I'm glad you've told us that. So we will definitely be doing that. So I want to ask you, sharing it on a book is one thing. But, given being in an Asian culture and then to kind of say, okay, I'm going to be a bachelor, a single parent. Firstly, when you came up with this notion or you decided this is what you want to do, did you sit your family down saying, guys, I have something to tell you. I am actually going to be a single parent?
Actually, I made up my mind first about doing it myself. And then I went and did it. And once the IVF and the surrogacy was successful, that's when I sat down my family, not literally, but I told mom first, and then she told dad, and then I told my sister. So then I told them that this is something that I'm doing, and I didn't ask them. I told them because I'd already done it, but they were very supportive. They were like, you should know your mind. And if you are sure, we're okay with that. Just be sure that you will be the responsible parent. I'm your grandfather or I'm a grandmother. I can't do everything at this age. You will have to be the primary caregiver, and we will always be there to help you like grandparents do. But it's your call. And I was okay with that.
It's quite a scary thing. And in a way, being a public figure, it's so good that you've done this, because other people who may want to do this think, can I raise a child on my own? Especially if they're from an Asian background. How do I tell my family? How will they accept it? Was there any point where you were like, what have I done? I'm really nervous.
So many times before I announced the baby, before I went and did the whole thing, I was nervous. And it's just suddenly you wake up one day and like, what am I doing? Is there going to be some sort of an outcry when this is all out? And then what will I tell my family? And if they agree with it, how will I lead my life? Will I have a life left? Will I be able to do it alone? And all kinds of questions keep coming up because it's huge. changed from the way you see things in India, especially. Even abroad, I think you don't see single parents that often, and not the way I became a single parent. But yeah, so I had to tell myself that, what do you want? What is your heart saying? Do you think it's the right thing to do? Are you going to be doing your best? Are you going to be honest to yourself? And if there's an answer is yes to that, then you shouldn't worry about what the others are thinking.
So why was it important for you to be a parent, do you think?
Why was it important to be a parent? I didn't think it was important. It was just something that I was becoming aware of, where my own paternal instincts are concerned. I wanted to become a parent. I was feeling drawn towards kids, and I was feeling like, I'm ready to have kids. I had pets at home, and I used to treat them like my own children. And I'm good with kids. So I was like, it's high time. And of course, my family used to keep asking us, me and my sister, that, what's the plan
Yeah.
where family life is concerned, etc., etc. And we were just going with the flow. And then thankfully, I found my answers.
But also it must be, I mean, a celebration of how your parents have brought you up for you to feel comfortable enough to say, you know what, the time feels right. And I know that what I've learned from my parents in terms of parenting, I can do as well. If not, then add everything you have picked up as an individual. So do you think it has a lot to do with your upbringing?
No, I think we were brought up very differently from the way I'm bringing up my child. I think all of us, the kind of upbringing we got back in the 70s and the 80s, it was very different. It was not so hands-on. Of course, there are some hands-on parents, but we had the father who's working, the mom who takes care of us, and certain fixed things. And it wasn't one wherein you'd say that, okay, that's called modern parenting. And now what we do, we have so much information about parenting, about children, about how to bring kids up, about what's good, what's not good, what are the do's and don'ts, and how do they really become confident, independent. Those things, I think, we had to learn ourselves. I mean, my parents.
Do you find yourself? I mean, and probably this isn't. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I have 4 sisters. They're all parents, and their kids are like my kids, and all that kind of stuff. And my sisters tell me that when they had their kids, they found that they would stop themselves going, I'm not going to, my parents never did this for me, but I want to do it for you. Do you have moments like that?
Yes, of course. Not specifically, trying to pick on what the parents didn't do, but just by and large, naturally, I started doing things that I don't think I was given as a child. And though they did everything for me, my parents were very normal parents. They were showering a lot of affection, but there are so many things that I have access to now, because you can read so much about parenting, sleep patterns, toys, about food, nutrition. You read about schooling. So that's all that I can give my son. And I haven't really pinpointed something that I never got and said, okay, now I'm going to do that for you, because that's not fair. I think even our parents did their best, given the fact that that's all they knew at that point of time. They did what they knew.
I guess parenting is like it's a continual involvement of
and my kids probably tell me that you didn't do this for me, and I'm going to do it for my son. You don't know. You never know. I'll be making some mistakes, and I'll be probably falling back in some areas. You never know.
So let's talk about your son. What would you say is your relationship like with your son? Before you tell us what he's like.
He's like a friend. He's somebody I enjoy with. He fulfills my life. It's, as you would say, time pass. I find him complete time pass, because I don't have to think about what to do. He decides what he wants me to do with him. And then we just figure out something to be done, whether it's a lockdown, whether it's not a lockdown. We're just so busy all the time that it just doesn't feel like we have time on our hands. And that's what I think is the best thing about him, that he makes my life worthwhile.
And has he adapted to like the celebrity lifestyle, if you like, the paparazzis, seeing famous people, being on set, all that kind of stuff?
No, he hasn't understood the whole Bollywood paraphernalia yet. I took him for one shooting and he got very scared, because the hero was dancing very scarily. It was in the climax song of Lakshmi, and he got very scared. So I won't take him for a horror song again.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good, maybe not a great choice of movie for the first one, right?
Yes. But he hasn't understood the whole aspect of, he knows that I'm an actor and people take my photographs. He's understood that. But he's not interested in Bollywood as of now. He loves BTS. He keeps watching BTS morning, afternoon, evening, night. He's following their steps. He's following their clothes. And he wants to be like them.
And I mean, would you be happy for him to be an actor? Would you be happy for him to enter the industry? I'm sure you get asked this a lot.
Of course, I'd be happy. If he should be happy about it, and he should be sure about it. Not because I'm an actor, he's becoming an actor. Because my father's an actor, he's becoming an actor. But he should know that this is the challenge I want to take. And this is the area that I want to focus in. Then I'm okay.
And like, obviously, this is well, it's not so much of a new responsibility. But first, when you had your son, a brand new life, a brand new responsibility, were you okay with the obvious ones? No late nights, getting up in the morning, not thinking about yourself first, thinking about your son first, then thinking about yourself. Did you adapt really quickly?
Yeah, of course. I am not really social, so I didn't really have to be late nights to sacrifice. But waking up early was hard. But I used to wake up, and I used to sometimes, when he was younger and wasn't so independent, I used to have to miss my afternoon nap also, which I love.
Ruckus Avenue Radio.